Hi VIPs! I am forever trying new things, and you guys end up seeing a lot of my experiments, but there are some that never even see the light of day. I know this may come as a bit of a shock to you, but I don't wake up looking like a beauty queen. and for shoots where I'm gonna, show you the pictures, I spent some time at the makeup table. I know. Shh, don't tell anybody. Anyway, when I am trying out something new, I don't always get myself made up. So today I was actually thinking about those times and how there's all this hoopla that is going on right now in the US about the makeup and skincare ads that are so retouched that it's basically false advertising. And it's funny because really I've always laughed when I see an ad for like mascara because the model always has on fake eyelashes. It's so obvious. And I always think, really, you want me to believe that if I use your product, I'm going to look like that? Right. Anyway, I also remembered seeing these makeup-free photo shoots in a particular gossip magazine where the celebrities are supposedly not wearing makeup. And, of course, the lighting is wonderfully diffused, and who knows what's actually been done to the photo in post-processing, or if the women were even really makeup-free to begin with. So anyway, I thought, I wonder what I can do with my makeup-free photos. So I took some of my experimentation photos from yesterday morning. I had wanted to capture the morning light coming in through my bedroom window, and I wanted to get some really peaceful-looking Sunday morning kind of photos. But I was just experimenting. So I was in my PJs, I didn't have any makeup on, and frankly, I hadn't even brushed my hair. And I was actually a little scared when I pulled the photos into Aperture. I didn't want to really look at them real close. But anyway, let me rewind a little bit. Let's talk about how I set up the scene and my camera that I used and all that stuff. So I used the natural light coming in from a window that is about 5 feet or so from the foot of my bed. And I pulled the curtains back all the way and I just let the light come in. I'll talk more about the light in a minute though. So for the shoot, I was in my bed, in my pajamas. I was having a cup of coffee and I was looking at news on my iPad, which incidentally is typically what I do in the morning, with the exception that it's usually still dark out when I wake up. Let's see, I used my D300S with the 17-55 f2.8 lens on a tripod. I set the camera to aperture priority, and I kept my aperture pretty wide in the f2.8 to f4 range. And I kept my ISO at 200. And a lot of times, you've probably noticed that I put my camera in auto ISO, but for some reason I just didn't do that on this one. I did use auto white balance though. So let me show you some photos. For this one, the light was still coming directly into the window, at an angle at least. And, I kind of like the way it looks. It's kind of cool, but it really wasn't what I was going for. So, I didn't want the harsh, direct light. And I definitely didn't want half my bed to be in darkness and half to be bathed in light. Unfortunately, I just couldn't open the windows in the adjacent room enough to bring enough natural light in to my bedroom to achieve the look that I wanted. There's probably a few things I could have done with my camera to lessen the contrast of dark and light, but I knew what I wanted, and I knew if I just waited a bit, the sun would keep moving and I'd be able to get what I wanted. So I did wait a little bit, and then I set back to work with a second cup of coffee. And let me tell you, I was totally wired when I was done experimenting. So I really didn't have to wait, or not that I didn't have to, I didn't wait long enough. Because you can see the blown out section in the lower right hand corner of the photo where the sun was directly hitting the bedspread. So it's all, it's all blown out. I didn't wait long enough for the sun to move. On the upside, the rest of the room wasn't so dark, but I knew I was getting there and I just needed to wait a little bit longer. So I had the rest of that cup of coffee, and after a little while longer, success! The sun wasn't coming into the room directly at all anymore, so it was much softer and much more even. That was more of what I was going for. So, as for post-processing in Aperture, I cropped the images a bit. I put a touch of skin softening on them and I retouched a couple of bruises off my legs, but that's it. I probably could have, put some cool filters on them or played with saturation and the curves and actually made the photos look more than, okay, which is kind of how they are right now. They're okay. I did satisfy my curiosity though. You can kind of get a decent photo when you're not wearing makeup. But I'll probably do a shoot like this really soon where I actually get all, all dolled up and whatever. Incidentally, this actually has an application for us all, not just to satiate my curiosity. A lot of models or portrait clients come into their session with, not imperfections, but challenges for us. Like when models come with chipped nail polish and they want to put their hand on their face and you're like, oh my God, you have chipped nail polish. Or, when a teenage client has some skin troubles. You know what I mean. There are things we can do as photographers prior to taking the photo to minimize our time in post-processing. That's just something that I really like to do. Sometimes I like to post-process, but I like to get the photo as good as I possibly can, straight out of the camera. Anyway, one of the classic things that you can do is what I did, which is using diffused lighting. So these photos that I've shown you and a few more are up on SnapChick.com right now for you to take a look at. Let me know what you think.